dev has mental breakdown over Asmongold. Okay.
So we've got quite the situation going on here, where a self-proclaimed audio and music dev at Ron Gorgon had a complete mental breakdown over Asmongold reacting to a video that I made. And for those that don't know,
what?
Ron Gorgon is the developer studio behind the game Mouthwashing. Before we talk about this guy's bizarre rant, his mental breakdown, let's talk about...
Wait, why? Didn't Asmongold just say that it was good?
How we got here to begin with. It all started around the middle of November, when a number of fan artists making fan art of this game Mouthwashing, and specifically the character Anya, began to get harassed by the Twitter police. They were all offended over how these artists depicted Anya, saying that they were sexualizing her.
Here we go again.
And decided that that was justification to harass these artists. You know how these sort of Twitter police can be. Very pathetic behavior. This is essentially what happened. So the harassment proliferated so much that the devs actually issued an official response on their dev account, going on to make this tweet that reads, "Some Mouthwashing fan creators have been receiving harassment over works that others have found distasteful. If you see fan work that you don't like, block or ignore it. Any form of harassment is unacceptable. If you can't be respectful and considerate, this fandom is not the place for you." Except as mentioned in the intro, there's a bit of a plot twist here, as one of the devs apparently thinks that the real problem, those Twitter police who harass artists, no, apparently to him, he thinks the real problem is people like Asmongold and myself and anyone who stands against the harassment. Because Asmongold would go on to react to the video that I made covering that situation, to which that audio and music dev at Ron Gorgon, Martin, then made this tweet.
No.
I see where this is going.
"The anti-woke crowd has found the game, and I feel sick to my frickin' stomach. Being on Twitter is going to be unbelievably painful from now on that I don't know if I can be active on here.
This is like so melodramatic. Like, what the
I don't have the energy for this." He also included an image with his tweet, the image showing Asmon's video reacting to my video. That Martin guy also having even more to say. But real quick, let's pause and talk about this tweet. So first of all, he's saying that the people who are against the harassment are quote-unquote anti-woke. But again, as I mentioned earlier, that's what's upsetting him, and as you can clearly see from his tweet, which therefore also implies that the people doing the harassment are the so-called woke crowd, once again, as he's basically putting it, and those are the people, that's the crowd that he wants to defend? It's such a terrible look that I have no idea how he doesn't realize that. There's like zero self-awareness here, which is a recurring theme from people like this, as you've probably noticed from this situation and so many others. And then he goes on to say that being on Twitter is going to be unbelievably painful from now on. I don't know if I can even be
Holy
active
fuck,
here.
man.
Bro, you're a grown man. You really got to talk like that. Being on Twitter is unbelievably painful. These people often like to throw around the word privilege. Bro, you sound so privileged that this is like what's unbelievably painful in your life is, I don't know if I can use Twitter or not. And then going on to take it further and say that he doesn't have the energy for this, quote, "I don't have the energy for this," unquote. He really doesn't see how pathetic this all sounds. Seriously. The whole thing is just exceptional. I really hope that the other devs work.
You know, I really do wonder, like, I think about it all the time, like, are these people for real? Like, are these people, do they actually really believe this? Don't you guys think about this too? Like, do they actually believe this, or are they just fucking saying shit? Like, they actually do feel like distress from like the Twitter thing. Like, I'm so distressed. Like, I can't even look at this. Like, oh my God, like I can't even look at Twitter anymore. You think that's real?
On this game are nothing like this guy, and I say that for their own good too, because anyone who acts like that is probably miserable. Martin has since locked down his entire account and apparently fled over to his Blue Sky account, but before that, someone responded saying
I guess that's true. March says people get anxiety at the grocery store. That's true. I do get anxiety from like being around people. It's just, I guess for me it seems a little weird because it's like online thing, you know. I don't know, but fair enough.
Asmongold seemed interested in the game and said he'd play it after hearing about the controversy. So I'd say the more people experiencing your art, the better, even if you don't like them. To which Martin said, "Anti-woke means anti-gay, means anti-me as a dev. I've seen that dance many times before."
Anti-woke means anti-gay? I don't know about that, man. I don't think gay has anything to do with woke, actually. Yeah, I don't think so.
I do not want him playing it regardless of exposure because it's making me feel like absolute crap. Someone else saying, "It doesn't mean that though. I don't know why you've made up this evil image of something just to be afraid of." So on top of everything else, this guy's also extremely selfish. He's actually mad about the exposure, as he puts it, which between my video and Asmon's video, we got this game around 1 million free views. On top of potentially even more if Asmon did buy the game and play it on stream, etc, etc. And of course also all these potential new players who might enjoy.
hold up. You can do that in this game? What is this? What is this? He rushes the guy with a knife?
3 views. On top of potentially
From that far?
more if Asmon did buy the game and play it on stream, etc.
Oh my goodness.
And of course also all these potential new players who might enjoy the game. But he's willing to say, screw all those people, screw all these potential new players, because it makes him feel like trash. Which obviously is also not a good thing for the game and the dev studio either, all because of how it makes him feel. And people like this are actually what harms the LGBT community. Dude acts like some completely unhinged, selfish weirdo, and then simultaneously puts the pride flag in his bio and has to tell everyone that he's gay. If he really cares about those people, you would think that he wouldn't want to make some public spectacle of himself like this. But then again, if there's one thing we can say, at least he's being honest, I suppose, because he never said he cares about the LGBT community or other gay people. So it's not like he was pretending to care about those people. No, he's been very clear. All he cares about is himself. He made everything.
That's so weird though. For instance, I don't like woke stuff, but I don't think I'm anti-gay. So like, it's just weird. I don't know, man.
His whole Twitter account. This was a rather interesting exchange as well. Dude, I had a huge feeling the wrong crowd of people were going to misinterpret the tweet that Wrongorgan made. Maybe you guys should make another tweet clarifying more so people like this don't invade our community and such, which got a response that reads, nobody misinterpreted it. Wrongorgan said to not harass artists in the community over their creative works. Asmongold held the same position. It's the audio designer that needs things clarified.
So this is my boss is getting hates woke stuff. I know a lot of LGBT people that hate woke stuff as well. So it's just kind of a weird position to like say that like being anti-woke is just being anti-gay. This doesn't make any sense. Anti-woke is basically being against kind of like the neo, like kind of Tumblrite people, basically.
Similar to Martin. You gotta love how these people think.
There's a lot of like LGBT people that don't think about being LGBT like fucking 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people like that. That it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just like girls or something. There's like a lot of people like that. There's a lot of like trans people that are just like, I just want to be a dude. I don't know. Fuck it. You know, like there's a lot of people like that and they're like not activists about it and stuff. Like the woke thing is like completely separate.
The so-called wrong crowd are the people defending the artists.
It isn't their entire identity. Yeah.
Omni's response, that being where he says Martin has no idea what's going on, because it does seem like he knows what's going on.
Exactly.
He just doesn't care. And returning to this tweet that we read earlier, there's another response I want to take a look at where this person says, people like him, that being Asmon, shouldn't be here. He and his grifter bros are spreading anti-woke rhetoric, which includes anything quote unquote progressive.
Bro, look at the bro.
And that takes me to this recent tweet that Asmon made regarding the word grifter, and all this seems to apply to that response and so many other things. Recently, I've added the word grifter to the long list of words that, when used, I take the person using it less seriously.
Me too. I'm adding that too.
A scammer is now redefined with the intent of character assassination towards anyone whose opinions differ from their own. A response reading, it joins the long list of words that don't mean anything more, like racist, sexist, Nazi, etc. It's just a mindless epithet morons use to shut normal people up. To which Asmon then responded saying, yep, NPC dialogue option. And I believe Asmongold also said something similar in the video that he made regarding the God of War director David Jaffe, and how David Jaffe made a video titled, Did YouTube Grifters Kill Dragon Age? And I found Asmon's breakdown of the word grifter particularly interesting, because around 2021, there was this very odd person who tried to literally cancel me. And I'm not saying that loosely, like he was trying to get people to unsubscribe from my channel, in which he attempted to make the argument that I was a grifter. And similarly to Asmongold, I came to the conclusion
I get called that too.
Used extremely frivolously. There was also a great level of irony.
I get called that too, but I've always been like this
too, because the person who was all mad at me was actually fitting the definition of grifter more than anything that I did, as this guy was making a very dishonest video.
I'm just saying what's on my mind a lot more now than before.
Via his Patreon account.
Basically, I stopped caring.
To say that if people were to give him money, he would be motivated to make more videos.
The gamer banter.
More dishonest hit pieces. As we see from people like that.
Yeah, grifter is supposed to be like a person that like a swindler, right?
Like David Jaffe and people like this Martin dev person. There's such a
It's better when you stop giving a shit, yeah.
As I've said before, it's just astonishing. And in conclusion with Martin, as you know, he's protected his entire Twitter account and seemingly fled over to Blue Sky, but even on his Blue Sky account, he doesn't seem to currently be active. So I don't believe there's any further posts to take a look at least as of the recording of this video. If he's really taking a social media break entirely, hopefully he can use that time to have some self-reflection and realize that what he was doing was only causing negativity for himself and everyone around him too. But let me know what you think about this situation in the comments. As always,
let's watch part
thank you
2.
So much for tuning in. And if
all right, so now we're on that part. We're on that part now.
Subscribing, it'd be much appreciated.
Now we go back to part 2.
So guys, it looks like we have a continuation of the mouthwash Mouthwashing situation. Yesterday we talked about that dev, music audio composer dev for the game, who was all outraged and having a mental breakdown over Asmongold's video, reacting to my video coverage of the whole thing with various artists getting harassed by the Twitter police for their fan art depiction.
Why is it called mouthwashing? Is that like a lore thing? Is that like a story point that happens later? Zero idea. It's a story point. All right. Okay.
Of Anya, to which the devs.
Oh, they're transporting mouthwash.
I see. Probably already know. So I'm not going to recap this any further for a third time. Point is the update, right? You may have noticed in the comments of the video from yesterday that there were quite a number of people saying that this Martin guy should not be referred to as a dev. Apparently, just some temporary hire, some temporary composer dude that they hired for music stuff.
Okay, so he's a contractor, I guess is what they're saying. He's not actually a member of the studio. He's a contractor. So they basically were looking for his help to actually they just paid him basically contract work.
However, I saw a number of responses to those comments where people said that he's actually a co-founder.
He's not. He's a co-founder.
For Ron Gorgon. And then I also saw a series of tweets from Madam Savvy, who pulled up the guy's LinkedIn profile corroborating those claims and showing that, yeah, apparently this guy does claim to be a co-founder for Ron Gorgon. And admittedly, this is something I should have done myself. I completely forgot to even check LinkedIn out for any further information on this guy. That's my bad, my fault. Should have done that. But now we have this update. Savvy also bringing up another very interesting point about this guy right here in her tweet that says, kind of misleading on Twitter, and I'm not sure why. Audio wouldn't come before a co-founder title.
That's true. That's true. You would put that. Well, I can see you not wanting that. The audio part matters more to you. I guess you would put that. If you wanted to emphasize the art aspect of it. For instance, I put game designer on mine. So, yeah.
In which, this is pretty interesting.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it.
And he claims to be a co-founder and audio lead at Ron Gorgon since August 2023. But once again, as she points out, and as we can see on his Twitter account, he leaves out the co-founder thing for some reason. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe he forgot. How do you forget you're a co-founder, though? For some...
Honestly, I'm just being honest here. I think it's perfectly reasonable to leave out co-founder.
Reason, maybe he just doesn't want it there. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there isn't. Make of it what you will. That said, we already know this guy acts very strange on Twitter, so I suppose this is just how
he ran out of characters to fit the pronouns. Yeah, possible.
Strange person doing strange things. Savvy wasn't done there either. She went on to say this. They, that being Ron Gorgon, hired an advisor who's very heavy in the DEI. I wonder if he advised them to do something like this. Be eager to misrepresent the current issues and complaints in gaming. Either way, quote unquote, consultants continue to be the biggest waste of money to studios that exist. It once used to be a useful term, relating only to historians or lawyers or actual marketers. Now it's just anyone with an extra...
I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate. You can hire a consultant for all sorts of stuff. I did game design consulting, for instance. You don't... Consulting's not just limited to that, to those things.
Including these screenshots, we can see Alexander Milton working for a more sustainable, fair, and inclusive game industry. And now he's been working at Ron Gorgon since September of 2023. She goes on to say his website is a bit goofy. And just wait till...
Consultancy is bad? I don't think so. Well, the reason why is because it's bad for certain things, I think. But in general, consulting itself isn't bad because sometimes you need to bring in expertise from outside of your company. So for instance, let's just use me, for example. It might be worth it for me to bring in a growth consultant, for instance, someone who's an expert who has done... management, for instance, for streamers and stuff, and say I had a question for what's the best way to set something up, I want to for instance, let's say we wanted to add another VTuber to Angel Sword. What's the best way to do that? How should we do the contracts? You would hire a consultant for that.
We get to these screenshots. My favorite part is coming right up. Continuing, she says, personally, I'd never hire someone with this as their first impression, but I'd also never hire a consultant.
Doesn't mean that the consultant's going to be good. They can be bad, obviously.
Turns out he's a former journalist. Shocker.
Yeah,
Who could have ever seen
I get
that
what you mean.
Here's the part that I find hilarious. In the third screenshot, this guy puts down education and qualifications.
Oh boy.
LGBT.
Yo, guys, should I get DEI certified? Should I take a class and take the test just to see what you have to do? Just so I can tell everyone I'm DEI certified? Excuse me, guys. Leaflit, DEI certified.
EQI certification. What the frick is that?
I should get it just so like if anybody argues with me, like if people get mad at me online, they're like, oh, like Leaflit, she's so phobic, like they throw all the phobics. I'm like, excuse me, sir, are you DEI certified? Because I am. I don't want to hear it. You know what? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm DEI certified. I know everything about that. You don't.
You get an LGBT certificate? Are you kidding me? How absurd is that? Imagine getting your LGBT certification.
I'm a bitch.
This sounds like some griftery.
Actually, I have a PhD in DEI.
Stuff. These people use the word grifter all the time. This sounds like some nonsensical stuff.
should do it.
Get some money out of people or something. Oh, hey, I'm certified. You should hire me as your consultant. I got the LGBT certificate. I'm better than those other LGBTs. On top of if they charge people for that too. Hey, sign up for our course. Don't forget to renew it every year. So we can see it says 6-part education on discrimination,
Holy
inclusion, and social issues facing LGBTQI people. Where's the rest of the acronym though? Where's like the A?
Yeah, where's the plus?
And the plus and all that.
minus
wouldn't be
percent
discriminating,
sign.
would they? Now let's check out the full description of what this thing is though. LGBTQ certification is a process where a business with the support of RFSL begins or strengthens strategic work with the aim of creating a safe work environment, and LGBTQ by a trainer from RFSL is conducted from a norm-critical perspective.
Let me get my certificate and he'll be hired on the spot. Leaflit
It is carried out over about 5 months. 5 months of your life.
Yeah, I can tax deduct that shit. Yeah, for
All
real.
employees in the business undergo training and are involved.
Yeah,
in the
actually
development
pulls
work
out
that
the
includes business analysis,
exactly.
as well as the formulation of goals and initiatives for the business's work with work environment and treatment from an LGBTQ
I should do it.
The process results
kinda feeling
in an
it,
action plan
guys.
for the next 3 years.
Might be time to go for
Also
it.
the time that the HBTQI certificate is valid. We can see even more information here on this page that reads, Knowledge for Inclusion. RFSL Education is Sweden's largest and most experienced player in
I have a
competence
bachelor degree in
development and
lesbian
process
dance theory and I am
management,
drowning in student
LGBTQI
loan
and
debt.
inclusion.
These
We
are the
offer
people who want
LGBTQI
student loan
certifications,
forgive.
training,
For
lectures,
real.
and consultancy services, of course they do, to workplaces that want to be at the forefront of their inclusion work. They give a rough example of how much this certification might cost you, and it converts to around $2,000 USD. And then they have this program that's around $6,000 USD. And their next step up, the LGBTQI plus, for around $9,000 USD. And finally, their LGBTQI
Dude, these guys are milking the
program.
fuck out
and
of
you can
people.
get this one for around
They're milking the fuck out of people. Holy shit.
$13,500. This organization literally treats LGBT people as if they're a printing press to make money off. And it's always hilarious when you see some people defending these sort of organizations and corpos. Many of them on certain subreddits, for example. They're like these giant corpo bootlickers, these like DI slop defenders.
Dude, that would be hilarious, guys. We should do this. We should do this as a community, okay, guys? We'll get like 10 of us, right? Imagine
I'm
this.
pretty sure I've made ceilings for the RFSL.
Imagine this, guys. 10 of us. We get the DEI certifications. We start our own LLC, right? And then we're like, oh, we're like a DEI consultant company, right? And we're DEI certified consultant company, and they come to talk to us. Oh, like what should we do for DEI in the game? It's gonna be like $1,000. All right, they pay us $1,000. What should we do for our game to like add the DI? Nothing. We would be saving gaming, guys. Think about it. We would save gaming by doing this. We just said it. That's fine. You're good. If we just say that to literally everybody, we get paid like $1,000. We split it like 10 ways. Like everyone gets $100. We pocket it. And we're like, game's it's pretty good. Maybe make our tits a little bigger.
Clearly what's going on
We do
here is
it.
all
We should do
incorrect
it.
and disingenuous. On top of that, a lot of these organizations also actually make things worse for the people they claim to be.
Yeah, we have to like make up a bunch of words though to like sound like super special. Like, oh man, like the deification of the character for the big booty sexy factor of on the big booty sexy factor scale, like A102.
be helping.
Like some shit like that, you know?
Take a look at all these DI consultancy firms in gaming and how the representation that they work on often ends up being terrible representation.
To increase your melon rating.
So as we left off, this Milton person who's got a certification from the organization that we just went over is seemingly working at Wrong Organ as some sort of advisor or consultant. Specifically, his LinkedIn entry reads, advising on matters relating to business development, strategy, release management, and production. And there's a hilarious exchange where this Twitter user gets mad at Savvy for simply pointing that stuff out, saying, it isn't funny anymore. You are getting dangerous. And dude, confirming the dude's fear while you're doing it. You are ilk are a cancer to gaming.
Oh my god.
He says, by posting publicly available information, I'm sorry, but appeals to trivial emotion don't work on me.
Nice.
This is the internet, he says. We write in a vacuum of emotion, regardless of acting literally like a mob. The other day it was the Obsidian art director. Today is this guy. You harass people for the sake of grifting. This is not okay. And who even is this guy? His bio says he, him, some sort of entrepreneur or something. Wow. Savvy response.
Very cool.
Saying, it's not harassment to post the words of someone that they chose to write to inform customers who is selling products so they can decide what they want. You've used the word grifting, I see, simply because we have different viewpoints. Name calling doesn't work either. And he says, we are arguing semantics, but okay.
I don't know if that's semantic.
Culture that at the very least encourages hate and toxicity and feed off of that. That makes you a grifter. It's not name calling, it's the reality. The only reality here is that this person doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not even what a grifter is. And everything he just described would apply much more to all these DI slop defender types. Continuing though, he says, the harassment comes from consumers of the big
buzzword machine
content creators that target people they don't like. Heck, even here I had people calling me all sorts of stuff. Either you are lying or you're not aware of the toxicity you create. So apparently when some game devs or other corpos act insane posting a bunch of exceptional stuff on social media and people then cover it and talk about it, that's harassment to this person. Savvy then said this, and this looks to be where the conversation ended. That is not what a grifter is. So you at least made it clear you were just using a word you saw someone of your tribe use and now use it here because you don't like me. It's not harassing someone to let them know you disagree with them. It's not harassment to post someone's own words they posted on a public forum. It's not harassment to have a different opinion.
Dude, I feel it's kind of annoying like how a lot of the time they really bulk up like what it is, right? It's like, you disagree with me, that's harassment, right? I don't know, even you talked a little bit of shit, that's violence. Like, what the fuck?
Go tell the pronoun brigade who told an artist to take their life over drawing.
It's like they like, it's like so melodramatic, you know?
An artist was harassed. Asmon said that's lame. The co-founder said he was sick. Asmon found the game, but he wasn't sickened by
puffing something up that it's not.
Sending death threats to an artist. Spare me your sanctimonious bullpucky. I know I'm being a broken record, but how do people like that, the person all mad at Savvy, how do those sort of people not realize how lame they sound? Everything that dude said was so obnoxious, and the points were just terrible. So dialing it back, let me know what you think about all of these updates regarding that music dev person also being a co-founder at Wrong Organ. That weird consultancy person they brought on who's got the LGBT certification stuff. And that
dude, I kind of want it now.
Madam Savvy and that Twitter cop. Consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Holy crap. That reminds me of like the one time my brother lost a close friend over Tokyo Ghoul. Because my brother said that Tokyo Ghoul wasn't good. And a Tokyo Ghoul simp, like my brother's friend was a Tokyo Ghoul simp, and then my brother said, I thought Tokyo Ghoul was okay. It wasn't like the best, but like it was okay. And then the person like actually unfriended them over it.